Hey world, what's going on? It's Miss V from Awethentic Vibrations coming out to do a Catchin the Vibes collective consciousness reading. It is a general reading, so if you would like your own personal reading at this time, go ahead and DM me. I would love to serve you. For the collective that we are going to speak to first, cards are already on the table. There was a lot of cards that were flying out and it took like 5 minutes for them to be specific about what cards wanted to come out. So I've already laid them where they want to be. For this first collective that they were speaking to, the word was patience that came up through meditation. And what I was seeing was almost the same as this card, actually. She's looking in the reflection of the water at herself. And I was being told that there are some people in the collective that are feeling a little bit impatient. It's almost like they've went through this discernment process. They're very clear on what they want, on what they don't want. They're going into the visualizations of what it is that they would like to bring forward into their world with a new sense of power and in clear intention. And so these people that have been doing the work and keeping up with the work are getting a little bit impatient. It's almost like, okay, I've done the work. I can feel the changes coming. I can feel that there's a whole new world available to me. There's a lot of inspiration that people are feeling within themselves as they went through this process. And the universe is just asking you to have a little bit of patience, okay? Everything is coming forward. There is prosperity coming forward for you. There is going to be changes in relationships, in careers, in your money coming in. There's a lot of big breaks that are on the way, but we just need to have that patience. As we all know, we cannot fast forward the process no matter how hard we try or want to, right? So that's for one collective. For another collective that they were showing me at the same time was the people that have actually been going into reflection but are finding themselves actually judging themselves throughout this period of time because they recognize along the way that their discernment has been a little shady. It's almost as though this collective has been feeling the shame and the guilt from the choices that they've made along their journey. Instead of looking at what lessons were actually learnt through those times of making those choices, they're looking at the fact that they were lacking discernment, and they're beating themselves up a little bit. They're judging themselves. There's a little bit of a harsh sense of like, you idiot. And the universe is just really there showing you that they are here supporting you. They want you to know that all of these choices that you made out of this lack of discernment were to bring you forward to recognize your own free will to make conscious choices in your life. So they just really want you to change your focus. They're asking you to move from the judgment to just mere reflection. And what they were saying about this was that when you go into the reflection, you can really look at what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want, what you don't want, and really start to get clear, visualize clear details about how it is that you want to be acting, being, feeling from here on in order for you to start walking your journey with a little bit more deliberate intent. More, the clarity is really, really important here. So they just really want you to know that as you change your focus, just observe the ways that your mind actually wants to beat you up for all of the choices that you've made along the way. And remind yourself when that happens that you actually had to go through those lessons in order to be able to become the person that you are here right now. So anything along your journey that you feel guilt or shame for, it's really about the process of going through and doing the self-forgiveness, the self-acceptance, doing the love for self despite that side of the coin, because the other side of the coin is the wisdom that you have now gained, the knowledge that you've acquired, the lessons that you actually understand, and can now start making conscious choices moving forward from this new place that you've actually arrived to through this reflection. So it's just about shifting that space within yourself so that you can actually get more centered at your core, and start to actually take back your power. Okay, it's time to take back your power, but you can't do that when you're just sitting there beating yourself up for all the mistakes you've made in life or choices that you've made and the result that they ended up in. Our best bet is really to go through a very clear, do the self-checking. Go, like I'm seeing a blank page and just writing down where the lack of discernment has led you. What was the result for you having that lack of discernment? Because it's going to be in looking at where it led you that you're actually going to be able to find the opportunities that you have now to exercise free will and make new conscious choices that will actually move you ahead into the prosperity that is there and waiting available for you at this time. They just need you to shift that a little bit. So they're just saying, if you find yourself having a difficult time through this process, to ask your angels for help, okay? Reach out to people, your friends, your family, your coworkers, the people that you feel that speak your language that you can speak to, just to kind of help sort out the space inside that might want to be doing the battle within yourself right now instead of helping you over that hurdle onto the other side. There's lots of support available for you. One of the things that I am hearing for this collective specifically is that you're going to end up having a lot of people coming into your world, connecting and praising you, encouraging you, uplifting you over your next couple of weeks. They really want you to know that that's on purpose. They want you to remember that no matter what choices you've made in the past, does not diminish or devalue who you have become in this process. So they're just asking you not to ignore the praise that they are actually sending into your world for you to be able to remember and feel how fantastic you actually are as well, okay? The next collective that they are going into talking to, there are some people. This is super exciting. It feels really great. There's some people that have really been going through the process of observing themselves, really taking a non-judgmental approach and reflection of their life, of their choices, of, what's went good, what's went bad, what's, all of this, the dualities within, and they're really making progress in their own life now because they now do have a crystal clear vision. They're very detailed internally about their new standards, their new levels of discernment, their value, their worth. There's so much in this collective. It feels really awesome because there's a lot of people that have overcome the inner conflict that they were going through and have actually found their authentic purpose at a totally different level. What I'm hearing is that these people are really doing a great job at making conscious choices now in order for them to own their power. And they're really shifting their focus when the negativity starts coming in and it starts trying to pull them into the past or away from their own centered self, their own balanced self. They are really doing a wonderful job at being able to change the focus in order to get back into the balance in which they need inside to stay on the up and up of the higher vibration emotions and frequency. And they do know, and they are confident, and they are sure that there is definitely wealth and prosperity coming forward. So again, there's going to be a change in your attraction, in your manifestation. There's a new fruition coming to ahead for you. So it's almost like I'm seeing you with this leg up, taking steps up the ladder, and it's really exciting because it's almost like there's a new treasure hunt in front of you now, that will bring you the prosperity and the wealth and the abundance of health, of wellness, All of it. Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, sexual, money, all of it. All of it is on its way to you. So amazing work. That is so awesome. I know definitely it's been a crazy ride for a lot of us over this last 6 months, but we're now at the tipping point. We've now gotten to this place of tipping over where the abundance actually gets to flood to us. So for that collective that they were just talking to, you have now tipped over that point, and the abundance is really coming forward for you now. They want you to know that the angels are going to be sending you people, places, and things where opportunities will come forward, contracts, services, business partnerships. There's just a lot of different things that are now in alignment because you've made the choice to take back your power. So awesome, awesome work. All right, they're moving around some cards. They are going into the next collective that they are speaking with. And they're going into relationships. I'm seeing that for this part of the collective, it's almost like people have been taking an inventory checklist. They've been observing the friends, the family, the partners, the co-workers that they have around themselves. They are starting to ask themselves, does this relation feel like it works for or against me? There are more and more people that are observing this and then making conscious choices to either cut people out or invite people in. What I'm hearing is that through this observation, that there are some people that have really taken the opportunity to reconsider the quality of people that they want to be around. And now that they have a new level of discernment, it's time to start reaching out to new people or old people that you've had in your life that were good for your mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual health and well-being. For the people that have recognized through their observations that there's some people that are still in their life that are working against them instead of for them, or the dynamics are not with pure intent and with authentic truth, they want you to change your focus. They're really asking at this time that in order for you to be able to step into your own authentic purpose and feel inspired, that you're going to need to be around other people that are actually standing in their own power as well. So they're asking for you to go through this process of discernment with a keen sense of intuition of how things feel when you're around certain people. How do you feel inside when you are around certain people? When people behave in certain ways, how does that feel to you? They're saying that, there's angels here that are helping this collective that they're speaking with, because there are some people that do need to cut ties with toxic energies that just create an inner conflict inside of yourself, but it's other people's behaviors and ways of doing things that actually create the inner conflict, because the energy that you feel from them or from the environment is toxic for you. It actually impacts your mental, emotional, and energetic well-being. So they're asking for you to really make the conscious choice, wherever that card is, the conscious choice to really start paying attention to the way that you feel around people. A part of this, though, goes into, so it's both sides. The people that have been doing the discernment, you will have new opportunities coming forward for you. Once you cut the ties with certain people, it's going to create new space in your life for your soul tribe to come forward, to continue helping you elevate on your purpose your truest path, your authentic vibrations. They will be there to uplift and encourage and inspire you. And they want you to know to, when you get an intuition, if there's someone to reach out to that you haven't spoken to in a while, when you get that intuition to reach out to them, to please do so. For this collective, the reason that they're asking you to be more mindful of what's going on the inside of you and how it feels is because there's some old people from your past that are actually good for your mental and emotional and energetic well-being that you haven't spoken to in a long time. As we know, there's lots of people on this planet that have been in separation. We've all had to go through massive amounts of shifting over our last 6 months. And because of that, there's been some friendships and there's been some connections, whether it be, business or family, that have been distant for a bit. And what they're saying is that because you've been going through this process of discernment and you're clear on your purpose and on your truth, that it is now time to reach out to people that you haven't spoken to in a long time that are good for your mental, emotional, and energetic health. On the other side of that same collective is that the people that actually need to do this work of discernment, they want you to know that there is some people out there to reach out to that you haven't spoken to in a while that are good for you, or to stop reaching out to the people that aren't good for you. It is about right now coming into relationships that are rooted in our solar plex. We are grounded right now in our own centers. We are going through a process of reharnessing this power that we have found within. And through that observation and inventory checklist of these friendships, relationships, business partners, family members, they want us to be able to be aligned with people that are healthy for us and that are there to serve a role in us getting to our perfect place, our highest potential. So what they're saying is that if you end up speaking to old people that you haven't been speaking to for a while, that it will be different connections, because it's going to be finding a balance that is now centered differently, which will allow for strength bonding between the two of the people, so, or the collective of the people. I mean, the more that we get together, the happier we are. Hey, some people. So it really does come down to being able to allow for ourselves to recognize who is in our life for our highest good and who is not. Become, aware of that. Feel it out. Feel what it all feels like. See what it looks like. When you leave, is your energy low or is it high? What does it bring to the table? What do these old relations with these people bring to the table in who you've become now? We're no longer in the old paradigm that we were in prior to this last month. So it's almost like we need to just allow ourselves to really step up in our own abilities to know who's good for us and who's not, and really honor and own that. Now, there is some people that have this perception that they had to let people go because those people weren't good for them. And in some aspects, if they were toxic, yes, absolutely. In other instances, what I'm hearing is that there are you will get insight, you will get intuition as to when to reach out to those people, and it will be safe to follow through at that time. It will strengthen the bond that you guys have between each other, again, because we are all now connected in a different space, within our own centers, vibrating from a higher frequency. So it really is all about being able to recognize that the power that both people in the dynamic have gained along their journey in order to move forward in a more wholesome relation. Again, business, family, partnership, friends, doesn't matter. Could also be a new love coming into your life. So, as we step into our power, when we use discernment, when we are clear on what we want, when we are standing in our authentic purpose, new love does come forward. We do strengthen bonds with new people, and we do strengthen old bonds that we had with people. Just depends on where we're at, what we're going through. But they're really just saying to continue using your free will and making conscious decisions to surround yourself in people that uplift you, encourage you, love you, support you. We are done with the day and age that it was comfortable to sit around people that actually belittled you and just talk shit about you or to you in low vibrations. There are still some people in this collective that are figuring out how to move themselves through that, but let's be honest, guys, life is really short. Why would we spend our time around those kind of people anymore when we have finally gained the insight that there is just so much more to life, and vibrations and the way that our whole entire relationship areas feel super, super important, okay? Isolation just came into my head. There's a collective that is requiring some reflection. It's so I'm seeing the duality in the card at the moment. The person has been in reflection but with major judgment against themselves. And it's creating this inner conflict, almost like making them feel like they don't know how to make choices anymore. Really, really, the word disgusted is coming up with their own discernment or lack thereof. And it's making them feel as though they have lost their power. Okay? It's making them feel like they are out of balance, that they are unworthy, undeserving. They forgot their value through this process because they've been watching the way that the inner conflict has been creating a lack of discernment. They've been forfeiting their ability to make conscious choices that are in their best interest. And it's almost as though they're tucked away, like isolated, because they don't want to let anyone know about their inner conflict that they've actually been going through. So it's like I'm seeing someone throw up their hands. Like they don't want the free will. They don't want to have free will. They don't want to be able to make choices because they feel that the choices that they've made have put them into a negative situation or experience. And what I'm hearing is that if this is you, that, you know, throughout the process of making all those choices, even though it led you to feeling like you couldn't trust yourself, throughout making those choices, there is the opportunity to see the other side. And the other side is that when you make choices that create results that you actually don't want in your life, it does provide you with the free will and the opportunity to take reflection. Go inside, do an inner reflection and ask yourself, like, okay, so what choices have I been making along the way that have actually put me here? And what choices can I be making now that will help me move from where I am to where I want to be? So I'm hearing that the opportunity and possibility available to you now is on purpose. Everything happens in its own divine timing, and this situation and scenario is no different than that. So they just really want you to know that they want you to go ahead and try again, okay? They want you to start trusting in the choices that you're making. Start listening to your gut feelings. Start allowing yourself to feel confident about what you want to see in your life and make choices based on what you want that result to look like, so you can actually watch yourself start making these choices and start. So the second piece that I'm being shown is someone doing visualization. And it's almost like As you go into the visualization, the more details that you see in that visualization, paint a clear picture. As you see that clear picture, excuse me, ask yourself, what do I need to do in order to get there? So for example, if you're waking up in the morning and you're hitting up social media right off the hop, and then, you're going for a shower and you're making your breakfast, it's like, would it be a benefit to wake up in the morning, do a 10-minute meditation, go and throw on your coffee or make your breakfast and go for a shower? Like, what little adjustments could you actually be making in your own day-to-day that will help you start trusting yourself differently? I'm hearing that the discernment, or the lack thereof, I should say, is because other people have been making choices for you and you've just been going along with them, and they ended up feeling like shit. They resulted in being somewhere else. It's almost like you let someone else drive in the passenger seat and then you got mad when you ended up at a different destination, right? So they're just asking you to get behind your own wheel again and really start paying attention to yourself and your own instincts and your own choices and your own wants, needs, and desires, in order to really take back the power that is yours to be taking back in this situation at this time. Okay? It's like I'm seeing all these cheerleaders, like, just really there for you to help you get through it. It's like there's all these angels, they're your biggest fans, but they really believe in the process that you're going through at this time to become more discerning, to become less judgmental and more self-loving towards yourself, to really start getting clear about what it is that you want and what you need and what you desire, and really getting back into the power of your own center so that you can actually strengthen the bond between you, yourself, and you. Okay? They really do. They believe that this is the perfect time. So you're feeling this weird kind of struggle within, and that inner conflict, because it's coming up to the surface. So it's just like a jack in the box, right? We can push things down as much as we want, but eventually it's like dun 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 dun, dun, and we have to face it, right? So that is the message for that collective. Just gonna do a one over here and see if there's anything else that they would like for me to pull out of this reading at this time. Cool. So this is for the people that have definitely been doing the work. They're standing in their power. They have found a balance within themselves. They are connected in their solar plex. Their discernment has altered. They now have very healthy discernment. They have a crystal clear picture. They have crystal clear intentions. They are filling themselves with inspiration daily. They are using their free will and their conscious choices in order to actually be in alignment with their authentic purpose. So one of the things that is coming about for this collective, because you guys have been doing such amazing work, is that they want you to know that prosperity is on its way. Wealth is on its way to you. It's almost like the little treasure hunt that's happening behind the scenes, being orchestrated. It's almost like now you have the opportunity to go and actually unveil these new little buried treasures, because you've reached that level where the universe is just going to be throwing abundance at you left, right, and center. So they really want to say thank you for doing the work. You've helped shift this whole entire collective that, was a little hesitant on taking back their power. We have now shifted enough where there's more and more of us on the planet that want to be in our power, that are in our power, and are determined to figure out how to get there. So thank you so much for all the people that have been doing this work. Looks like that's it for now, guys. So yeah, I hope that this reading was helpful to you. I absolutely adore serving you guys. If you would like your own personal reading, definitely get at me. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Bye for now.